Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Q and I'm so excited because we are officially 3 weeks out from show day. So I'm so excited. I'm kind of at the point where I kind of can't wait for it to be over because prep is prep still at the end of the day. But I'm really excited to be back on stage. So right now it's just grind, hustle mode, almost there. But today I'm happy to show you guys the other side of diet. So last week I took you along and we had a full day of eating, so you saw everything that I eat throughout the course of the day. But this time I want to show you guys how I actually prep for the week, how I meal prep, how I prepare myself, so that way I'm staying organized, I got a good routine going, and basically I just follow this routine every week. And so I can take all the guesswork out of trying to fit, meal prepping into my schedule. Because I know a lot of people struggle with eating right and eating healthy because they just feel like they don't have the time or they're in a rush, so they just grab something and before you know it, you've had 3 Snickers bars and 2 5 fast food runs, and so I try to stay as organized and routine as possible. Now I'm not gonna eat unhealthy because it's just not part of my lifestyle. But I know when I'm like off season and I may not be as regimented or as disciplined with my diet, maybe I'm counting macros rather than eating a specific meal plan. There are those days where you're like, oh man, I'm running behind, let me just, go to Chipotle real quick, which is not the end of the world if you're choosing healthier options while you're out, because life does happen, you do get busy. But during prep, that is a no-no. There is no just grab something, so you have to be very disciplined. So I'm gonna show you guys this because this works for anyone, whether you're an athlete competing or you just wanna live a healthier lifestyle. Really planning your meals and having a routine is gonna help you tremendously, and it's gonna help take that extra burden off of you when you're trying to get back on track, because hey, once you've meal prepped, you're done. You don't gotta think about it until the next day or the next time you have in your routine of when you're gonna prep. I personally prep twice a week, so that way flavors stay fresh. I know some people do once a week and freeze their food. So you gotta find a routine that works for you. And I hope this is helpful to you all, so let's go. Hey guys, so we are back in the kitchen. Last week we went through my full day of eating, so all of my meals that I consume from start to finish. Now, I do have 2 options on certain meals that I eat. So for breakfast, for example, my coach offers me either the salmon and veggies, eggs that I had, or I can do protein pancakes. So this week I'm going to show you guys how I meal prep, because during the week I pretty much eat the same thing. On the weekend I will, for certain meals, eat the second option, just so I feel like, hey, I'm mixing it up. I had something different. It's the weekend, makes my prep feel less miserable. But honestly, I'm one of those people who I could eat the same thing all the time. Now, yes, variety is nice. Yes, having your cheat meal off season is nice, but I kind of like being more regimented. Even before I even, used to compete or was super serious about my fitness journey. I basically ate the same thing for breakfast. I basically ate the same thing for lunch most days anyway. I think where most people fall off, or where you might want some excitement, is like with snacks or your dinner, or on your weekend special occasion, that kind of stuff. So that's when competing is a lot more regimented, and that's what makes you have to be very disciplined, because those little fun moments, or I just popped that in my mouth, and you're not thinking, okay, how many extra calories was that? That's what is a little more difficult about being disciplined with fitness, but hey, it's part of the process, such as life. So today I am going to get into how I prep my meals for the week. So I have to be very routine in everything that I do, because I am very busy juggling, work, family, training, fasted cardio, so morning and evening trainings, in everyday life, and then sometimes you just want to have a moment to yourself. So I'm going to show you guys how I prep for the week. I got all my groceries. I'm going to show you guys everything that goes into my meals. It's pretty simple. I just kind of have a routine that I go through when I do prep my meals just to stay organized. And I prep actually twice a week, so that way flavors stay fresh. But then I have in my mind, no matter what happens, Sunday and Wednesday, I'm cooking my meals, so that way I can plan the rest of my week and have a few nights where I'm not constantly up late because I'm trying to cook for the next day every single night, and I can get other things accomplished. So the first thing that I want to make sure that before I prep any of my meals, I make sure first that everything is clean. So all the pots and pans that I'm going to use, all my containers, I try to make sure everything is clean and laid out, just to help with organization and to help as I'm moving along to kind of expedite the process where I'm not constantly stopping to clean what I need or looking for what I need. I like to make sure that everything is laid out first. And then what I like to do, my process is first, I like to go in and cook or prepare the items that are going to be cooking on their own, that I'm not manually, messing around with. So like my sweet potatoes, I just weigh them, put them in the oven. Don't have to think about them, they're cooking. My eggs, throw them in, boil them, put them on, I put them on skillet, let them boil. I don't have to mess with that. So I put those things out first, so that way while I'm prepping the other items, my proteins, my veggies, whatever, those can be going while I'm actually manually working on other items to prep. So first, make sure everything is laid out, all organized, set out, so that way as you're going through the cooking, you don't have to constantly be grabbing for stuff. So first, make sure everything is cleaned and organized. So as I mentioned before, I've got everything laid out, ready to go. My containers, everything I'm going to be cooking with, as well as all of my food these are all the food items I'm going to be cooking with. So I try to have everything out and ready to go to make it smooth as possible. So to start off, I like to clean my chicken. That's probably the part that takes the longest within my prep because it just is a little more tedious. So I make sure that all those little excess fat pieces on my chicken are all cleaned and taken off, so that I have some nice lean meat and I'm not eating any nasty fat, because we are on diet and I don't really like the taste of it anyway, but I know some people do. And we're cleaning as we go, because prep, I really like to multitask as I go, so that way I have a clean working space. Next, I am chopping up some bell peppers. I sometimes have frozen peppers just because it's a little more efficient and faster throughout the week, but sometimes I like to keep the flavors fresh. So this time I just bought some bell peppers, and I'm gonna chop those up this time around just for a little more flavoring, a little more freshness. And now that we have all of our food chopped up and ready to go, we're get ready with cooking. So I like to start with my sweet potatoes just because that's going to take the longest. So I like to have those chopped, weighed. As you can see, I have to chop them up a few times to get the right exact measurements. And I'll throw that in the oven, so that way while I am meal prepping everything else that is going, and by the time I'm done with my prep, they should be all baked up and ready to go. And of course, clean as you go, because we want a clean working station, so we're not doing too much cleanup at the end. Next, I like to prepare or plate my yogurt dark chocolate meal. Since I don't have to do any cooking with this meal, it's easier to knock that out of the way before I get into all of my other stove top cooked meal items. Now for some prepping. I like to go in with my first meal is the fastest meal to cook, and that is my salmon and veggies. So while my veggies are sauteing in the skillet, nice steamed, I don't really add any seasoning to my veggies. I like to have the peppers kind of be the flavor for my vegetables. While that's sauteing, I go in and season my salmon and throw that on the skillet. While those items are cooking, I like to jump in and season my chicken. So I use a combination of Mrs. Dash seasoning, since they are zero everything, and some pink Himalayan salt and garlic just for a touch more flavor. And we're plating the veggies. And the salmon was done right about that time too. So that first meal is just about plated. Then I like to go in and cook my beef while the chicken is marinating a little bit. And the same seasonings with that, but I add a little bit of oregano to that just to kind of give it that little Italian flavoring. I like that kind of Italian flavoring vibe with my beef. So while that's cooking, my chicken is sauteing and my eggs are boiling because my salmon veggie meal is just about done. So making sure we weigh everything. So my next meal of the day is my pre-workout meal. So that's my asparagus, chicken, and sweet potatoes. So like I said, I like to kind of cook certain meal items together just so that way I can stay organized. So I'm cooking that or preparing that meal next. So while my chicken is cooking, I threw my asparagus. I have that frozen, just as a little more efficient. Threw my asparagus in the container while the chicken is cooking. And while the chicken is sauteing on the skillet, my eggs are done. So I can take the shells off those eggs and throw them in my salmon meal, and that is done. And by the time I finish that, the chicken is just about ready, and I can plate the chicken meal with the asparagus, and by that time our potatoes are done. So everything is kind of working together, multitasking, so that as I finish one thing, the next thing is ready to go, and I can plate it all together with its appropriate items. So here's our final product. These are all the meals that I cook throughout the day, and as you saw in my last video, I prepare my final meal for the day and my shake as I eat those. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to look out for the next video in my wellness prep series. See you in the next one. Bye.